Dickie Dread, New Age Travellers, A History, 1960 to 1990. Chapter 5, The Battle of the Beanfield. An afternoon of fear and violence. As midday crept on and the sun began to break through the cloud, the situation became unmistakably volatile. Police started to move in waves towards the vehicles. The first windows were smashed. Screams rang out from inside a van. The dog barked once, then went silent. In the rear, people began shouting down the line. "We need to hold the line! They're coming in hard!" And still, for a moment, there was a strange stillness, as though both sides were waiting for something to break. That break came within the hour, and with it, the field turned from blockade to battle. Engines revved across uneven ground, tyres spinning in deep earth. Many already were damaged due to driving across the hedging onto the field. Buses and trucks fanned out, forming a protective arc, a defensive crescent of battered steel and plywood. Flags flew from roof racks, tarp was strung up, doors were slammed shut and locked. It was a makeshift village under siege, thrown together in panic, but welded by principle. And then the police came in after them. Officers moved in, flanking columns through the hedgerows, some on foot, some in transit vans, some wielding riot shields, others unidentified and unbadged. They entered from multiple angles, surrounding the field to prevent exit. There was no formal warning. Some attempted negotiation. A few officers reportedly told travellers to leave peacefully, but as soon as a few vehicles tried to move, they were boxed in and battered back. The message was clear. This wasn't about dispersal. It was about dismantling. "They didn't want us gone," one witness said later. "They wanted us punished." Police began advancing on foot towards the arc of vehicles. First clashes happened in silence, then chaos. Shields smashed into windscreens. Truncheons cracked glass and bone. Doors were kicked in. People were dragged screaming into the mud. People were pulled through smashed windows. Children screamed. Members of the media looked on in horror. Inside one vehicle, a woman went into early labour. In another, a teenage boy tried to protect his dog and was beaten unconscious. One driver was hauled from his cab and struck repeatedly after he'd surrendered. Bystanders shouted, "There's children in here! We're unarmed! You're breaking the law!" But the field was already a war zone. Kim Sapido, ITN, and Nick Davies, the Observer, were present, and both later described the events as brutal and indiscriminate. Sabido, visibly shaken on camera, stated, "What I've seen today is more like a military operation than a police action." Some footage was captured, but much was later lost or never aired, allegedly damaged in transit. A freelance photographer arrested during the assault claimed his camera was confiscated and returned without film. The battle bus, central to the site, became a last holdout. People locked themselves inside, chaining the doors. Children were hidden under blankets. Police surrounded it, smashing in windows and climbing onto the roof. One officer used a fire extinguisher as a battering ram. When they finally breached the bus, they pulled the occupants out one by one. No regard for age, condition or cries for help. A kitten was trampled. Personal belongings were tossed into the mud. By 5 p.m, the field was a wreckage of broken glass, crushed vehicles and stunned silence. Many travellers were zip-tied or handcuffed. Others sat quietly in shock. Blood dotted the grass, and above it all, the stones of Stonehenge, invisible over the ridge, seemed impossibly far away. The police weren't done yet, but by then the resistance had given way to survival. By early evening, the field was a broken maze of mangled vehicles and shattered dignity. The sun, low and orange on the Wiltshire horizon, cast long shadows across the torn-up soil. Where once there had been bright painted buses, flags and families, now there were only busted glass and oil leaks, tarpaulin and moans